right, folks, good afternoon and welcome on back here this Thursday, March 10th. Great to see all of our students live inside Cyber Group and for all of us rejoining us on social media, Facebook Live or YouTube. Welcome on back as well. Great to see Chuck, Brian, Mike C, Michael B, who had a few call outs just a moment ago. We have Ray, we have Patrick, as I'll always ask right now, or maybe as I'll typically ask, where are the ladies at here? Where's Leda? I just see Deb here joining us right now. Where's Kathleen at? We have Charles B joining us live. Looks like everyone either way is good to go loud and clear. So let's hop to it, folks, right away. The VTNR stock is the stock we'll start with. It's on the screen. But I'll tell you what, I actually loaded up this platform. I just loaded up one of my random templates, and this stock was actually the one that was preset on it. No rhyme or reason behind it, probably from like a day or two ago. But if anything, this stock is up 9+% right now. It's at the highs of the day right now. I guess it's a good stock for me to start with, right? So yeah, right now we're going to definitely put this on our watch list. Iceberg order on the ask, roughly off of 9 for about 14,000. So yeah, definitely the way VTNR looks, why not? It's my first look at it across the whole day. Kind of coincidental there, but yeah, nonetheless, we'll put this on our watch list. Otherwise, though, the main star of the day. How could we not start otherwise on the AGRI trade, right? AGRI was like a monster for us here this afternoon and even across the morning. So I just went over this with one of our students inside a coaching session, and I'd love to give you the quick synopsis behind this trade. And if anything, I'll bring Bookmap up in just a second. But more or less, this stock ended up breaking above significant resistance. Later into the morning, it was off of $3. There was a bunch of volume right on the ask at 3 and 310. So it had a little turbulence around there, roughly around 10:15, 10:30 Eastern. But hey, just like we always ask, and we asked this question in our weekly Traders Talk workshops that we just did back on Tuesday this week. What happens if history could repeat itself? Right? That's always what we ask here. And if we continue to see direction and if we continue to see a stock breaking above resistance, then I'm led to say, you know what? That presents an opportunity for me to try and jump in. And that's what we focus on. So this was a bit of a rocky trade after it broke over 3. Well, not even more so after it ran from 3, I should say, when it topped off around 5 and this major iceberg order from the high there, pretty much a penny above the high at 5:15. There was a huge iceberg on the ask there. That's where it ran into a lot of turbulence and from there fell back down. But hey, it's making a bit of a lower high here. Maybe by the end of this meeting, it can make one more pop up and show some signs of life. I'm not going to put this on our watch list just yet. I would love to, but it seems like that rounded top is forming. So, definitely at the end of this meeting, I'll come back to this stock, and if it ends up making a push, then we'll follow it. The point that I wanted to show though is that before it ended up breaking above 3 and 310 here, we ended up seeing this stock make a beautiful slingshot. It broke under, then it broke right back above the opening bell print, roughly off of 210. It was about a 74,000+ share transaction. So with that print coming out right at the market open, that is a huge level for us to follow. Well, within the first 5 minutes, we're not trading. We're trying to sit on our hands the first 3 to 5. So it took its time and it came down to support here. There was an order on the bid to back it up. So you could say once it broke under and over from this line and then certainly from 210, the opening bell print, that is really the level in which this stock made the slingshot from. So just wanted to show that briefly. But yeah, for the afternoon right now, lower high. And pulling back down literally as I speak right now. This thing just had a nasty shake for about 20 to 25 cents just over the last 1 minute bar. So that's not making a great case for me to put this on the watch list now. All right, we'll keep it going, but again, I'll come back to this at the end if I need to. The Hymc stock, let's see what it's looking like here. I didn't really follow this one heading into the early afternoon, so hey, phenomenal run. Ended up finding support seemingly off of 75 cents. Maybe right above there was the opening bell print. Seems like, right around 75 to 80 cents here, it was the opening bell print, and very similar move actually to where it ended up repetitively testing resistance and showing higher lows. It recracked that price and ended up making a phenomenal run for the Hymc. And, this one's obviously right near the highs. So we'll definitely put this on our list. We'll have this join the VTNR stock here for the afternoon. All right, from Eagle USA, one of our members joining us on YouTube today says thanks for putting this on YouTube. Well, no problem at all, Eagle. And if you're joining us here for the first time, welcome aboard. I was actually out of commission for the first 2 days this week. I mentioned that yesterday. I had a StreamYard issue, but every weekday at 2:30 Eastern time, we try and come on YouTube and Facebook and continue our broadcast for you folks there. All right, let's see what else we got here in the meantime. ISPO, the warrants, not the actual equity, but we'll check out the actual equity here. I was about to say ISPO. It was running up pretty nicely, but the hell is this? A nasty shake from 17, effectively a lower high from the high of the day there, that spike, and from there completely crashed. I don't know why the warrants are kind of holding strong. They shook down a bit, but it's up a lot more compared to the actual stock. Pretty interesting there, but we'll pass on those for right now. EBIX trying to inch up. Don't get me wrong, it's trending up quite nicely here, but for a $42 stock, it's just got really thin volume on the order book, so we're going to pass on that for right now. All right, we keep it going. ENSV, another one of these energy stocks from this week, from Tuesday this week, where it ended up ripping in pre-market and continued to pop after the open there. Well, look what happened. Just look at the daily chart. Speaks for itself effectively. Complete pop and drop. History repeated itself today. So, yeah, right now, this ENSV not as tempting to trade for the close, but, hey, we'll keep these stocks, whether it be ENSV, the 9 trade, ISIG, and MARPS. I can name them all, but just by looking at the watch lists that we've been putting out this week. But all of those are good side list stocks. For the remainder of this week, next week, I'll check in with them just to see where they stand. But right now, this doesn't look too good. All right, RKDA did look great earlier. Doesn't look good now. Damn, I took my eyes off this for a little while. I was hoping that this would be much closer to the highs. Clearly, it is not. All right, let's see what else we got here. Xela XELA, it's below $1, but it's one that we're pretty familiar with. And, well, what do you know? It's making a beautiful move right now. Higher lows, higher highs across the whole day, and breaking higher as we speak right now. My assumption is that we ended up seeing a lot of buying coming in roughly off of 94. There we go. All of the green here, all of the green at 94, a couple in the black that add on top, but yeah, for certain there is a bunch of buying off of 94 cents, 93 cents you could even say here too. Actually, shoot, it looks like there's a lot more at 93 compared to 94, and it's above 93 right now. This has a chance to continue to push right now in the moment. If it ends up shaking pretty nastily under 93 cents, then be careful. But you know what? We'll put this XCLA on our list. Looks good. All right, let's see what else we got here, folks. Number 50 is still probably going to be up a lot here. Let's just take a look as we'll skim the list here. Any familiar names like BTU, we'll take a quick look at. BTU pretty damn close to the highs today. It looks like it's building a pennant on the daily chart, so you might want to be careful of that if you're in on a swing trade. But yeah, right now this looks relatively strong. If anything, the talking point for me here is what the hell happened here at 1:35 Eastern time? Over 800,000 or over 500,000 share spike of volume. I mean, that was easily between 2289 and 2284. Right there, 2284. That's where all of that volume got filled. I bring that up because, well, hey, what if BTU fails to break higher here? Making a lower high kind of right now. What if it breaks down, makes a bit of a lower low from that point? Well, it wouldn't shock me if this comes down to 2284 to hold as support. For as big of a volume spike as you had there, clearly somebody knows something. All right, so BTU we'll put back on our watch list for right now. We got CVT, CVI, CKPT, CRWD. I think they're trying to play with me here with my trader's dyslexia. And then CELU above that. Geez. CVI, great trend. Order book, on the thin side there. It's trading about 4,000 or 5,000 shares a minute. So I like the chart, like the trend. We'll see what else is out there. CKPT, cheapy, it's at the highs. It's trading a little bit more volume per minute. Also has a lot more filled in of an order book. I'll put this on the side. I'll come back to this one in particular at the end. Kind of like the AGRI trade. We'll put this on the side list for right now. I got INDO here. Pretty expensive, really thin order book. Just wanted to check it out pretty quick. NTRA stock. I think this was one from yesterday. Yeah, this was the one from yesterday that got crushed. Or I mean, really, as soon as the market opened up, but led to a great dead cat bounce heading into the afternoon. Well, it looks like it continued to make a slingshot this morning. I didn't really focus on this one as much today, but just wanted to check it out right now. It's not really too tempting here for this afternoon. All right, folks, let me hop on over to the losers list. Norman agrees with me saying the CVI looks good. Chart looks good. The order book, let's see what else is out there in the meantime. First, on the loser side, got Fossil down big. I did not see that at all until right now. It's not because I'm ignorant. I've just been following certain stocks today. That's all. I mean, really haven't focused on much on the loser side today, and the market's been pushing up pretty gradually here so far this afternoon. Fossil, what happened here? Looks like bad earnings, if anything. Yeah, it looks like they just reported quarter 4 earnings results. I don't have any other headlines aside from that. I would feel that perhaps they ended up lowering their guidance with it, but nonetheless, it's down huge right now. It's at the lows. If you could short it, if you could short Fossil, it's hard to borrow on TradeStation, but if you could short it, then I'd say you put it on your personal watch list. It's also down enough to where you could possibly think about a dead cat bounce, but it doesn't seem like it's ready to do that here. Maybe tomorrow morning we'll check back in on this trade for a dead cat bounce. More on the downside, I'd follow this Fossil trade. BEKE. We saw the BEKE earlier today, breaking all-time lows. I know Chuck was all over this trade inside our live trading room. We got Mitch Connor rejoining us on YouTube, one of our regular attendees on YouTube today. Welcome back, Mitch. I just asked about it. And yeah, I mean, hey, it looks great, right? I mean, I was going to get to this anyway, down 22.5% nearly right now. And again, it broke an all-time low this morning. What was the stock yesterday? There was a stock yesterday I put on the afternoon list, and for good reason. It was approaching all-time lows, but the concern I had on that was like, how much more are we going to be able to squeeze out of that trade? I think it was the stock IVC. It was a bit of a dead duck heading into the afternoon, but this stock was at all-time lows. Now, why I'm so much more interested in the BEKE trade. Well, it's got a lot more of a ways to go to reach the ground floor. So this is definitely a lot better of a short opportunity. And both were breaking all-time lows. So yeah, definitely BEKE. Oof, IQ got hit today too. I didn't see that. And this one is shortable. This could have been a really good short trade. Flat right now. So obviously we'll pass for this afternoon, but maybe keep it on your watch list for tomorrow morning. Who knows? Quadruple S. I've never seen this ticker before. We have triple U, triple H, triple G. We have quadruple U. We first time seeing quadruple S. Yeah, right now it's also pretty flat. It's shortable at the low of the day, but not really trading a whole lot of volume, and yeah, doesn't seem like it's going to be too good of an opportunity. Jinko Solar, JKS, this has been more of a swing trade when we've called it out in the past. I say that because if you just look at this trend, pretty easy to say, but this is one of the prettiest trends I've ever seen on any stock on the daily chart. Right now, not a whole lot going on here. Familiar name to any of our long time students of C2. I'm talking about students that have been with me since 2014. JD.com. We ended up trading this for a long time back in the day. Fell out of our price range for a bit, but man, this stock's been getting crushed the last 1 to 2 weeks. It's very tradable for the price. It has a penny spread. So that's first, or 1 or 2 cent spread. So for a $52 stock, that's really good. It's trading like 85,000 shares a minute. That's a lot for this price for this pricey of a stock. I could put this on our list, for right now. If you're more of a level 3 trader, I'm sure you'd be more compelled or gravitated to follow the JD trade. I want to see if there's anything looking even better as a potential short, maybe something that's even more within our price range. Well, I don't need to look too far. NEO, right? I mean, both are actually Chinese-based stocks, and with that, NEO is pretty close to the low of the day. We've called the stock out since the market opened. Fausto, in particular, called it out right away. Really good short. Ended up breaking below big support off of 18 a bit earlier. I would have thought it would have held it as resistance. I would have thought that this would have squeezed back up to 18 before it potentially dropped back down. And pretty interesting to see that this is going completely against the grain right now. Market's been pushing up steadily. The S&P and the SPY in particular. NEO doesn't really care. So yeah, this could be an interesting short right now, the NEO trade, NIO. Yeah, Billy here too. I could be wrong on this. I think this is also a Chinese company too. I know TAL is in particular, JD. I'm sure a couple of these others. But yeah, these are all dropping off quite a bit. Billy's trading about 11,000 shares per minute, but it's right there. It's right there at the low. I don't really see a clear iceberg support. Maybe at 2150. Only about 5,800 shares on the bid currently from Nasdaq. So I would have to double check to see what Bookmap level 4 shows. But this one looks good. This one looks like a decent short. I'll put this on there with Neo. All right, let's see what we got here from the chat board. First, we'll go from Cyber Group first. Mike saying on the AREC trade, he is still in, and it's been pushing up, right? AREC, I don't think I looked at this as I went from top to bottom. Maybe this wasn't even up enough. Yeah, it's like on the bottom of the gainer side here, but that's fine. Trading about 12,000 shares a minute. Compare that to what's on the order book, specifically the ask. It definitely needs a kick in the pants if it wants to keep pushing up, and certainly a bit faster. But right now, it's hard for us to not put this type of stock on the watch list. The AREC trade looks good. Let's go back to CVI. I don't mind going back to CVI at least. Volume is relatively thin. We don't have too big of a watch list right now. So you know what? I'll slip it on there just given how pretty the chart looks, in terms of finding a stock that you'd like to, hold into the close. This looks as good of a stock as any that we could try that out on. KPCT. This was from my side list that I wrote down earlier. Just seems kind of flat right now. It's at the highs. Hey, if it pops later on, then we'll look to call it out. The AGRI trade looks cooked. This looks cooked to the bone here. So I don't know. I mean, for as much as this ran up today and yesterday or over the last week or so, when's it going to begin to pull back, right? And if you take a look on the daily chart, look what happened back in mid October, early November. That could be. Hey, it ended up making a big pop for us back then. Ended up popping from like 220 all the way to like 7 and change, and then it ended up closing just over 3. Look what happened to it the following days. So led to a huge drop off. Be careful on this stock, folks. I'm not going to put this on our watch list just yet. Maybe by the end of this meeting or at 3:00 when Rich jumps back on the mic for us inside Cyber Group, if this stock ends up beginning to move back up, then we'll look to try and call it out from that point. But I'll tell you right now, I'd rather you focus on like the VNTR stock or the HYMC or the Neo trade as a short. Or hell, that BEKE trade, that breaking all-time lows, that looks incredible of an opportunity. Let's see what else we got from YouTube now. We have Ashen rejoining us, asking about the SVFD stock. Nah, not a whole lot happening there. It's only up 4%, trading 800,000 shares on the day. I see what you're looking at, though, given this stock's been on a nice little roll here lately this week. But in terms of like a day trade, it's not doing anything for us right now. Hey, let's say tomorrow, tonight in the after hours, or pre-market more so tomorrow morning, if there's a lot of volume being traded on this stock, it's got my interest. But right now, not just yet. Let's see, from Ashen also asking about the KAVL stock, which I didn't jump to. KAVL is up still 8%, made a nice little pop upon the market opening, but again, not only is it really flat, it's trading about like 2,000 shares a minute. That's like very, very little right now this time of the day. Thoughts on TMC from Doug? Yeah, this looks good. Nice call. A little pop right now. So prior to this pop, if it's looking like this, it's looking like that. It doesn't have my interest. But this is exactly where I say, and certainly for us inside Cyber Group, folks, if there's anything that makes a really big pop once we finish up the meeting, that's where you need to work together as a team, look to call it out. If it doesn't make this type of pop, doesn't have my interest. So now that it did, yeah, looks good. Put this on our watch list here, the TMC trade. All right, folks, that's all you got from me here for today, for this afternoon. For all of us on YouTube, Facebook Live, I appreciate you sticking with me each and every day. And, well, I'd say each and every afternoon, but I had a StreamYard issue Monday and Tuesday. So, I appreciate you folks joining us here each and every day. If you have any questions, feel more than free to send over an email right to josh@ctutrading.com. I always like to post my personal email here at the bottom or at the end of these streams. If you wanted to join us live inside our trading room, join us as a trial member, test our room out for the week, feel more than free to go right down to the link on the banner below the stream there in yellow for you to join. Ashen says, appreciated. I am more considering about ST Trade. Well, when it comes to following our strategy action, it's all about following the big money. And without level 3 or without level 4, either or, it makes it extremely difficult. So that's where we teach that within our trading room, and more so, much more so, within our main curriculum. So again, if you wanted to join us, Ashton, or for any of us on YouTube, just go right down to the link on the banner below the stream there to get yourself started. Lastly, at the buzzer beater here from Brian. I shouldn't say that because I just watched my college basketball team, Butler, lose it right at the final 10 seconds. Not on a buzzer beater, but a little frustrating. All right, so right at the high of the day from Brian, I just saw Bitcoin make a tiny pop, and I wasn't really planning on showing Bitcoin today. I was going to do that tomorrow more than anything heading into the weekend, but really the last 2 hours, market's been pushing back up here a bit. Bitcoin really hasn't been up until the last 15-minute bar I have on my chart. So a little inch up on Bitcoin. It's actually starting to shake back down a little bit as I'm talking. So I'm not fully committed to Riot or Mara or any of those Bitcoin type of trades just yet. I love them, so I'd be the first to call them out if I was interested, but I'm going to pass on it for right now, Brian. All right. Hey, for all of us on YouTube, Facebook, again, I appreciate you. And otherwise, for all of us live inside the cyber group room, Henry, Norman, Carol, Michael, Brian, and all of us otherwise, I look forward to talking to you folks coming up at 3:30 Eastern. Take care.
Become a cyber group member today. Just click the link below and receive all these amazing products and a world of knowledge for just $9.